So the Detroit Lions proposed some bylaw rule changes that they want to see impact the league, change a little bit, and make it so that the game can improve. What did you make? What was your reaction? Do any of the three, the big ones that you read about, do they have a chance of succeeding? Because I think two of them, I don't think owners are going to want to give up a home game. I think that status quo is going to be tough to potentially sell to the other NFL owners that, hey, if you win a division, it's kind of been automatically known that you get a home game. I don't think owners want to give up those gates because that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money to give up based on competitiveness. But it's intriguing to look at. The pass interference one, I don't think has a chance early on, but could start dialogue. I do think the roster rule has a chance to be talked about in a way because other teams have also dealt with injury, and any way to help teams dealing with some unfortunate matters on the field that just happened as a result of playing a physical sport needs to be looked at. What was your reaction to the Lions proposing some rule and bylaw changes?
Yeah, it's interesting. And I think that there's a valiant argument you can make for all three of them to get passed. And we'll start with the defensive penalty one. I think that and we say that kind of tongue in cheek that, hey, this is targeted because they have cornerbacks to get a lot of penalties. But I mean, if you think about it, you're not far off. And I think that a lot of this can be drawn back to just the style of play that the Lions have. And they're going to commit penalties. Like we've heard Deshae Townsend talk about it. Like they're not going to call it on every single play. So we're going to be physical on every single play. And so I don't think that line or that train of thought is too far off base for what the Lions are going for here. And I think that maybe what this is centered around is the defensive holding penalties or the illegal contact penalties that occur, on 3rd and long, and you're 8 yards down the field and you give up a 3rd and 15 automatic first down. So that's kind of what I'm thinking of. But I also think you maybe run the risk of, if that happens, now all of a sudden teams are just holding on purpose on 3rd and long to prevent a completion, and then they'll take their chances on 3rd and 7. You get a 10-yard penalty on a 3rd and 17. So I don't know. That one I think has a tough road to passing. I think that just teams are gonna, I don't know, the thought of an automatic first down in a league that is offense heavy. I just don't see enough teams voting yes on that one. In terms of the schedule one, the playoff one, I really like that one. I think that competition, it's merit-based, and I think it's in line with how the Lions have thought as they built their team in terms of just the importance of competition, the meritocracy aspect where the best players play, and now the best teams would host playoff games. So I think it's really interesting. I do think that a downside of that one is that maybe it devalues winning a division title, but at the same time, if you're winning a division title at 9-8, 8-9, then there's a whole different conversation to be had. So again, I'm with you on that one. I don't think that one necessarily gets passed, but I definitely think it's something worth talking about. And then as far as the roster one, I do think that one's got a pretty good shot. And the reason for that is it's not a major tweak that they would be making. It would just be the players that are placed on injured reserve before or on cut day do not count against the 90-man roster limit. And so I think that then there's benefits to taking players who are injured and you want to keep them around and you place them on IR as to where in the past you would either have to wait until after cut down day to place them on injured reserve or take your chances and cutting them and then bringing them back. So all three of those are really interesting discussions, and there's discussions that we've had in this type of setting in years past because they're popular themes with the Lions in years past. So hey, you got to give them credit. They have ideas and they push for them. We've seen them in years past submit a lot of rule changes as well. So I think that's all eyes at the league meetings are going to be on these votes, and the Lions are going to be the center of the conversation.